Welcome back once again, guys. My name is Elio, and in today's video I'll be taking a look at Yachiru. Hopefully I didn't slaughter her name too bad, but without further ado, let's go ahead and check her out. Alright, so we can see from the screen right here, she is an attacker type. Her main selling point is just silence and dispel. Right before we go into this, I can say that she's already a very odd unit. I wouldn't say that she's bad or niche at all. She's just a very odd unit. But let's go over here to her skills real quick. Alright, so for her combo skill, Yachiru attack, she deals damage to a single enemy, and there's a 90% chance for her to silence a random female enemy for one turn. So if I'm reading this correctly, since I've never actually used her out on the field, well, it's actually been a while. I mainly used her as like one of the 3 slots for whatever content I'm doing. But essentially, if there is a female on the field and you have her attack an all-male unit with only one female, there's a 90% chance for her to get silenced just for being a female. All of Yachiru's attacks or passive bonuses are addressed towards females only, so she's mainly a unit that you use towards females, which actually works out if you think about it, because so far I've seen mainly females as the ones that can do heals. So this could play a very important role later in the game. It's just pure speculation from me, but we'll have to see until then. But that's pretty much her combo skill right there. So if there's any females on the field with Yachiru out, which is probably why you're using her, there's a 90% chance that she can silence one of them. So it is what it is, but let's move on here. For her rage skill, Spiritual Pressure Explosion, deals damage to all enemies. So all 6 units on the field, they all get hit from her attack. I feel like the damage on it could be better, but maybe just because my Yachiru isn't very strong at the moment, which would explain why it's not doing that much damage. But we can also see that it dispels 1 buff from all female enemies as well. So once again, if this is a female team, they're buffed up boys, one of them buffs is gone. One of them buffs is gone. And as we can see right here, when her weapon awakens, the damage increases. And then also she can debuff more buffs off of any of the females. So it's freaking great, dude. Freaking great. Once again, damage isn't amazing, but the main selling point of that is just to dispel targets, and dispelling and silence in one unit already, even if it's female only, I would say is pretty interesting. Her next skill is just HP strengthen, nothing to talk about there. And then her 4-star passive skill is President of the Woman Soul Reapers Association. So when she is alive, all allied female characters attack increases. So if she's on the field and you have a team full of women, then all of their attack is going to be increased, which is perfectly fine. And then when allied females attack, there's just 30% chance for her to silence a target in this last 1 round. This right here is the selling point or the money maker of Yachiru, because there's a 30% chance of any female on the field, whether she's on your team or as one of the 3 side units on your team, for her to allow the females to silence anyone. It doesn't matter who. Like, this isn't directed towards any gender. She essentially gives any female on the field a 30% chance, as long as she is alive, to silence a target. So like Matsumoto now has, and I believe it feels like an additional chance to silence people just having Yachiru out on the field. That is I feel like she's underrated. Like, that's very helpful. 30% is a hell of a lot more than 20% or 10%, and I'm not saying that this is any more reliable than Matsumoto's, but it's nice to have another layer of being able to silence units, because if you're trying to 3-star stages, especially certain stages like with Aizen and stuff, silence is really important to have. And once again, I can apply silence to any target as long as I have Yachiru on the field, counting Yachiru herself or any other units like Rukia or Matsumoto as well. So definitely an underrated unit. I mean, she's really not here for damage. She's just there to prevent damage to your team, if that makes any sense. Like, you can still get damage out of her, but her main selling point isn't to like burst damage. Her main selling point is just to render the other team as powerless as possible. But let's move on to her War Soul. So with her War Soul right now, as you guys can see, I just have Spirit of Assault. I threw it up there on her just to increase her base attack. we can see that she has a Vermilion Bird War Soul, so every attack that she does generates rage for her. So her second War Soul slot, let's go over here and check this out. Alright, so there's not much I could find from the War Souls that I have, because I don't have as many as a lot of other guys have. But, I mean, since she doesn't really bring too much damage to the team for her second War Soul slot, you could go for adding more damage and boosting up her attack if you want to go that route. And also, I don't think Soul of Incapitation is a bad idea, because this does, as we can read right here, even with this crappy version of it, with this silver lining, or the silver icon, has a 10% chance for her to stun a main target with her Rage skill. Alright, so even though I checked out Reddit, I couldn't honestly find anything really redeeming about her Violet War Soul, which is her third War Soul slot for Yachiru. The only one that I could come up with for you guys right now is just the Omeida, or Omeda's War Soul, where essentially when the enemy's HP is less than 45%, the Soul Barrier does more damage to that target. I mean, that's going to work universal for anyone, so you can't really go wrong with this one, because obviously you want to burst the unit down or take as much HP as you can away from them so you can kill them. And I don't find this effect to be negative on Yachiru. Of course, with probably any unit whatsoever that you're running, if there are War Souls out there that can boost up her probability to do her silence or dispel, I would say silence number one, then I would go with that instead. Because I did read, I'm not sure if that's confirmed, but it sounds like the effect accuracy can also boost your chance of making sure silence hits with her for her second slot, so that's something to keep in mind as well. I do apologize that this isn't very optimized here. I will try and include as much information as I can in the video about what to do with her, but that's pretty much Yachiru. Let's go over here and check out her talent real quick, which the HP and defense of Soul Reaper characters are increased by 0.8%. Nothing too big. I mean, obviously not game breaking, but it would add up with more characters that you get and more talents that you unlock. But once again, that's Yachiru. Her main selling point is just being a unit that can pretty much silence any other female unit in the game, which will be powerful as we go on, because as more females are introduced with hopefully better skills, the more important she will come to be, especially if you're trying to run a team with a silent composition. But if you guys have any recommendations, feel free to leave a comment below about what you would do with Yachiru or how you would build her. And if you have any suggestions for the next video, once again I implore you to leave a comment below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. So peace out.